Outdoor Exploratorium at Fort Mason is really a series of engagements that people stumble upon. It's kind of this wonderful layering of experience and information on the landscape.
The exhibits are tied to the natural elements at Fort Mason, so the wind, the waves. We had a lot of material to play around with. It's right out on the tip of the peninsula, so it's really windy. It's on the waterfront, so you can access the water and the tides and the marine biology. This was new work for the entire team, and we had a very experienced team, but they were experienced in designing and building exhibits for the museum floor.
Rather than saying, well, it means that we take exhibits that we've done well inside and we build them out of stainless steel and we ruggedize them for outdoor use. We honestly kind of sat and thought, that's not going to work.
I thought I had a million ideas that would be perfect for this project. So I started throwing out these ideas to a group who had already been working on the project for 5 years. They had so much more experience just thinking about how to make a successful outdoor exhibit that most of these ideas they had thought of before and just got kind of, oh yeah, that's a great idea. On to the next one, kind of. So it was a learning experience. I think humbling at times. Every time something breaks down, it's a learning experience. Every time something stops working, when you're failing all the time, it's less intimidating.
I think the initial response was one of excitement, and then that moved towards slight senses of dread. In this case, the worst thing to do was just start building, because you really had to just start thinking. The hard part was actually not building or going, it was stopping.
We put a flagpole out at Fort Mason that has wind direction indicators on it every foot, up to 35 feet high. Rather than just all blowing in the same direction, they'll blow in different directions. And you can see that the wind above you is not just flowing in one uniform direction, but in many different directions. We're hoping that people start looking at different things like flags at different heights or anything above them and start becoming better observers of how the wind is behaving around the city, around architectural things.
It's kind of this vertical tracing of the wind. It was telling, but it was also kind of mesmerizing, and it made you kind of want to watch and pause and look at the trees.
We're giving people tools that they can use and take away from Fort Mason with them.
The notion that the built environment is static, the notion that buildings and these big things are static, is completely false. They're strong and they last mostly because they're flexible. They're dynamic. They distribute forces. And the bridge is no different. The Golden Gate Bridge is this amazing, flexible structure. It's built to sway sideways 27 feet in a windstorm. It can sag 11 feet and rise 6 feet in temperature differences and under load. Tasting the Tides is this water faucet that we hijacked that will range from 0% salinity, so fresh water, all the way up to 3.5% salinity, 3.3, 3.5, which is open ocean salinity, very salty. People didn't realize that the bay had any salinity variation at all. They just figured the bay was salt water because the ocean was right there. So I'd like people to walk away from that exhibit understanding how dynamic the bay is. It's really a big washing machine of mixing. It's almost like the bridge in some ways. Like, it's not a big static thing, it's a living thing. Well, most of these instruments are about enriching the view, enriching a person's understanding of landscape.
We're hoping that as people become more appreciative of their environment, that they become stewards for their environment. So they're inspired to protect the world as they become better observers, better understanders.